What were you doing when you were 30? Well, I know a 30-year-old who has $100,000 in passive income every month. So what does he know that I don't? I'm Andrea Heng, host of the Money Talks podcast. I'm way past 30 and I do not have $100,000 in passive income. But I know someone who does. He is sitting in the hot seat next to me right now. He earns this through a series of 9 residential and commercial properties, including an HDB kopitiam in Ang Mo Kio. What is a 30-year-old doing with a kopitiam in Ang Mo Kio, you might ask? I'm going to get the answers and a lot more beans to be spilt by Christian Oh. He is co-founder of Sales Force at JNA Real Estate. He also co-leads the JNA investment team. Welcome to the podcast, Christian.
Thank you, Andrea, for having me.
So talk to me about this. When you bought your first commercial property or your first property in general, how old were you?
Wow. It was 8 years ago.
Okay.
I was age of 22.
Wow.
And it was crazy because what started my real estate investment journey was about a decade ago when I actually found out that my parents actually went into a dire financial situation.
Okay.
They hid the fact from me for 6 years. They didn't tell me.
Oh.
Yeah, and the day they actually told me that I found out the cause of it was actually because of a real estate broker who actually advised them wrongly
Okay.
about 2 decades ago. And that actually compounded into a financial problem when they over-leveraged.
Right.
Yeah, so they had to go through the whole situation and they only shared with me when I was 19. So that was when I really tried to find ways to actually get them out from this situation.
Right.
So when I went into real estate investing, it wasn't about ambition, wanting to own multiple. It was really a subset of that later on.
Okay.
But it came from a heart of wanting to find a way out for my family to actually have a proper avenue where I can retire them. So what happened at the turning point was actually when I went into a lot of property investment courses.
Okay.
I attended almost all of them in Singapore. Okay, name them. I likely have attended.
Okay.
Yeah, I spent up to date maybe about mid 5 figures just on property costs.
Wow.
Yeah, so this is the part I believe in knowledge,
Mm.
really learning them. It did turn out very well for the first investment. I'll share
Okay.
more. I'll spill the beans in a while.
Okay.
It wasn't a very good investment purchase.
Right.
But from there, I also learned a lot of lessons of how is that the right way to invest in property.
Okay.
So that was the backstory of how everything started.
So tell me about that first property investment that wasn't great.
Wow.
What happened?
I won't name the name of the course, but
Sure.
I introduced by the course I attended.
Okay.
I bought into it. I thought the whole narrative was, there was a discount, fire sale. I mean, 300k, 400k discount.
Okay.
I mean, and the PSF was cheap in the eyes of in this area, and it's a city area.
Oh.
Yeah, so it was wow, it looks amazing. Rental was great, 5%. So everything ticked the checkbox in their list. But one thing I did not realize, okay, after holding for 5 years, in fact, it didn't make money. It lost money.
Wow.
Yeah, so not all property investment. I mean, that's something that, unfortunately, it's my first one. I was really new 8 years ago. I was like, okay, I trust the whole thing. I went
Okay.
in. But for me, I don't really say it's their fault or anyone's fault. It's just something that we learn.
Sure.
Because I found out one thing is that property, although on per square feet, means take the total price divided by area is very low.
Right.
But because the size of unit is too big. So it's artificially cheap in a sense.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So it was kind of deflated in a way.
Correct.
Okay, so
Yes.
then what happened after that? How was it that you were able to turn from this bad investment
Yeah.
into 9 properties that you have now? How did that turn it? What
Yeah.
was the turnaround? What was that pivotal moment? And how did you fund from that
Yes.
first failure to now 9 properties?
Yeah. So the truth is, thank God, the next 12. Okay, in fact, unfortunately, one more which I bought from the another course.
Okay.
They also didn't do well. So I also, these are
Yeah.
things that you need to figure out. But thank God, the remaining 11 that I bought and sold with 4 up to date, they all did very well. What happened next was the next 3 property I bought was in the commercial space.
Right.
But before then, I also did a lot of businesses like tuition.
Yeah.
I tried running even
Side hustles,
side
basically.
hustles,
Yeah.
and it didn't work out. I mean, 5 years of 4 years since 18
Yeah.
to 21, 22. So that was when I entered real estate. It was really something that I said is my last chance.
Yeah.
It's
Last
really a
opportunity to make it work.
Make it work. I say if it not work, I would say just live a normal life.
Okay.
Yes.
So how did you fund the subsequent properties? So
Yes.
let's go back to that first property, right?
Yeah, correct.
And it wasn't a great purchase. You realized it later on.
yeah.
But you picked yourself back up And you decided,
Yes.
okay lah, let's try again with the second property.
Yep.
So from that failure, how did you fund or finance the second one, and
Yep.
then it sort of snowballed from there?
So interestingly, I only found out it was a bad investment about 3 years later, 4 years later.
Right.
The first year was bad. Second year, I started picking up a bit. Only a third year, whatever like property income that I earned, instead of like I was a little I would say daring, I locked myself into property.
I see.
So whatever earned property,
Right.
like 95% goes to the property.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what I did.
I
so I
see.
don't really spend. I don't like.
So
maybe
you were
other
just
people,
basically reinvesting that money
reinvesting that
into the
money.
next property and the next
It's
property
probably
and
the
the
next
next property. Okay,
correct. So the
wow.
first 3 years was the toughest, to be honest, because this is
Yeah.
something I have to really save and like not spend, because sometimes it's very alluring to go and spend on like
For
things
sure.
like holidays, and so I didn't
Yeah.
travel. I literally
So for 3-4 years,
3-4
you
years.
stayed put,
stay put.
didn't spend on yourself.
Yes.
Just went straight to the next one.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
And the
so-
next one was better for you.
Yeah, better for me.
Okay.
And that's when the third, fourth, fifth property start to be better. The second property I bought was actually an industrial property.
Oh.
Yeah, that was
So why did
yes.
okay, so that's my curiosity, right?
Yeah.
Why did you end up in the commercial side? Because not many people, especially people your age, I might say, don't find that sexy lah.
Yeah.
Also, during COVID, it took a big hit and it's been taking a while to recover, right? So
Yes.
what made you decide, or what did you see in these properties that made you decide, actually can make money?
Wow, okay, good question. Because, yeah, right. Because people are looking at the quick, the cash. Sometimes something is more sexy.
Yeah.
But back then, interesting. I saw 2 data points.
Okay.
One is regarding our Singapore financial cash flow.
Okay.
I noticed that even in COVID-19, there was a hit, definitely.
Sure.
Warehouse was bad. But
Yeah.
for me, I saw opportunity. I know that this is just a temporary thing
Mhm.
because we have very strong cash flow buffer to finance for business, for all this
I see.
like SMEs. So it was when there was a midst of recovery, that was when I entered into my first commercial.
So you took advantage of the recovery period and the assistance period
Yes.
that companies would need to look for spaces.
Yes.
And therefore you entered the market.
Yes. And that was when financially a lot of them are not doing well. So there was
Yes.
this opportunity I saw because I was always on the ground looking at data. I make decisions based on that.
Wow.
yes.
How many hours on average were you spending watching this data?
Wow. I think there was a time where every day I pull out this
Every day.
data set, like 8 to 9 hours.
And all of this
just
data
looking
is
at this.
publicly available? Is that how you were able to
You have
access
to buy them.
Right, right.
Yeah, I had to access the system.
So that was your
Yes.
investment, personal investment.
Yes, and walking the ground. I think the key thing,
Right.
before I even bought my first commercial, I bought about 100 properties.
Wow.
Yes, just more than 130 there, about just to
Wow.
understand. Because
No wonder
you
you're
need
so
to be in the
trim
ground.
and fit.
Yes, I want to walk more on the ground, and we're always on the
Yeah.
ground. Yeah, so this
So
is the part.
walking the ground was very useful for you. How so?
Because you assess whether the renter,
Yeah.
whether it is fully occupied, whether there is demand. You understand the entire cash flow to see whether in that place can the cash flow cover the mortgage cash flow. So for me, I'm not the kind who would like to gain for huge gains.
Okay.
I rather something that is stable.
Right.
Yeah, so this is the part that I'm more into. And that is when being on the ground will allow you to get all this data set and have experience.
See,
And
this is
yes.
something AI cannot do.
Yes.
Okay,
Alright.
so
Mm.
you have these residential properties, you have these commercial properties, all your industrial units and all that. You're trying to make them sexy again because they're stable, right? They're stable sources of income for you and for the market in general. What about this kopitiam business? What is happening there?
Wow, okay. In fact, this deal actually originated from our sister, I would say, company.
Okay.
There's this other team called Steward Asia.
Okay.
They focus mainly on ultra narrow space, 5 million quantum listing up.
Okay.
They handle shop house, coffee shops,
I
and
see.
also like buildings and hotels.
Right. Okay.
Yeah,
so
they're
really big
yes,
guy stuff.
Big guys,
Okay.
yes. And they are actually my business partner also in running the sales force together.
Okay.
Yeah, so how it works was that the deal originated from them. And I look at the numbers, it seems interesting.
Okay.
And cash flow is positive. The owner is more like, I would say, reasonable in terms of pricing, not
Okay.
like undervalued, fully undervalued, not overvalued either.
Okay.
But something of that fulfills my criteria as being a cash flow asset.
Okay.
So that was when I decided, okay, is there a way that we can enhance the value of this property for a
Mhm.
coffee shop?
Okay.
And one thing that actually got me into this, right, the key thing was when I see the potential and not the usual way of how coffee shop dealer do. A lot of them, nowadays it's quite sad. I hear a lot of stories online. I mean, not just one, but multiple, where most of coffee shop player, they come in, they buy, they jack up the rental.
Yes.
And then a lot of the tenants suffer, which is something that I am not a fan of. In fact, the first thing when I got a coffee shop, what I did was I went to talk to all the tenants. I told them, guys, for next 2 years, your rental will be the same.
Okay.
Yeah, I told them I'm not going to increase.
But don't you think that was a bold promise to make?
For me, okay, so that's where it comes in. Although I know my rental was actually 20-25% below market because I see opposite at Ang Mo Kio area. The other coffee shop, I know the rental is 25% higher.
Okay.
But for me, my style is I want the tenant to succeed first because I realized that if the tenant cannot succeed, it's a win-lose situation.
That's true, yeah.
And that's something that I feel that when you come in to jack a rental and doing that way, it's not sustainable in long-term run. So what I want to do is, number one, marketing. Are there ways that I can enhance the asset, the footfall? Because JNA Estate, we are quite into the social media space. We have been like running this for some time. Yes. Yeah. So this is when I realized, are we able to combine the idea of marketing, into this coffee shop and bring in players into the coffee shop, the right tenant mix. Okay, that's the toughest part because a lot of them just get any tenant in and then they collect rental.
As long as you feel the space, you're in, right?
Yes, you're in.
Okay.
But this time I'm more selective. Although there are people coming and wanting to rent my stores, this season I'm trying to improve the tenant mix. There are some that are leaving, there are some that are coming in. It's not easy. But the key thing over here is that I see that if I bring the right tenant mix where people are passionate about this F&B space and they have a brand, if I bring the right brand, that will bring in the footfall into this area, and this will help everyone's business.
So you're treating it really like a business rather than I'm just investing in this property, whether it lives or dies or succeeds, I don't care.
Yes.
Just bring me the money.
Correct.
But you see it more as a business that you want to build up rather than just a piece of property that's a blank thing.
Yes.
Like it's nothing like that, right?
Yep.
Here's the thing. Why this coffee shop? What was special about this particular unit that you thought, okay, this one I think can make it? Why not the other coffee shops in Ang Mo Kio? Or in fact, why Ang Mo Kio? Why not Marine Parade or somewhere else that's got there are plenty of coffee shops in Singapore, right? So why this one? Apart from the cash flow that was appealing to you, why this one?
Wow, good question.
What do you look out for, right?
So what I look out for now is price. Definitely.
Okay.
Most of the coffee shop and deal flows, right? They are asking at I would say either sky high prices, to be honest, because it's good cash flow. Even at the sky high prices, there's still high positive cash flow. It's stable, a cash cow. So they are not urgent to sell.
Okay.
So this is something that the owner asking at reasonable prices, and the owner is also more importantly willing to one of them ramp up one of the stores. They actually run one of the bigger stores there, and they are willing to push this for the next many decades. Yeah, so this is something that I see. Hey, if the price is reasonable and the cash flow is alright, compared to other stores that are asking sky high prices, they are bought by bigger players also.
Yeah, correct.
They are 5 big players. They are really taking most of market share. So I'm really just a small fry. learning a lot of things I am still trying to figure out along the way. But one thing I see the potential is the pricing, and more importantly, the ability to enhance the asset.
So what about things that you typically look at when you buy property? Things like location, distance to MRT, distance to bus stop, distance to schools. So is location and other conveniences, things like that, are those important to you as well when you look for a property to buy, including all your other industrial or commercial properties also?
So for me, I look at 4 things.
Okay.
The first thing I look at is for coffee shop, especially density, population density.
Yes. Okay.
So if around the area, it must be more than 21,000 people per km square. So this is something we can pull out from data set of HDB all the people who are staying around the area to actually make sure it works.
Okay.
Second thing, I will actually assess the footfall. Okay, so currently, honestly, this footfall in the morning is dead. It's not good. Okay, but afternoon and dinner, there's a huge crowd of people who come to eat. So I'll go there. If a place is empty morning, dinner, then let's
forget it.
Yeah, exactly.
Cannot make it.
Cannot make it. Even if you do marketing, it's somewhere that people don't naturally come already. It does have challenges, even though it's cheap. So there could be value traps like this.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the third thing is I'll assess the tenant, their business for each of them to see how much they are really earning, whether their revenue makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, so the key thing about tenant is, number one, when they rent from you, they must be able to survive. It cannot be, because in the commercial space, it's quite scary. Sometimes there can be fake renter.
What do you mean fake rental?
Means, the landlord may sell to you. This is something in certain, that used to happen in other coffee shop. I'm analyzing for 4 years already, where they have a high rental. They say rental operator that is actually not real.
Oh,
So these are things happening in commercial space, even in
right.
other industrial
So it is
commercial.
just to manipulate the market price.
Market price. And this, so you must be very careful.
Ah,
So that's the part
right.
that you need to really be on the ground
Okay.
to understand what exactly is the market price, what can they actually rent at, and then from there work backwards.
Got it.
They work backwards and say, all of them can survive. I then look at the footfall and we talk to each of them. They seem like all right. Maybe for one or two some maybe struggling, they definitely will be. And then finding whether there are other better tenant who can replace. If they cannot survive, they will leave. And
Sure.
then we find better tenants.
Okay.
Then that is when we can enhance the yield. Property, people always say location.
Correct, yeah.
But in our investment team, we see that actually location in Singapore, because although it can be far from MRT, their place can be densely populated. It can, because coffee
It's
shop,
true.
people just go to that
It's
same
true.
coffee
It
shop.
becomes a cult. Some coffee shops have
Yes.
cult status and they're
Yes.
nowhere near an MRT.
Correct.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's true. Yeah,
And
true.
it's just something even linked with the tenant. So sometimes if the tenant
Mm.
is a very good F&B and they are long-time tenant there,
Or known brand.
known brands, they
Mm.
draw a natural footfall to the area.
Right.
So it can be far from MRT. Okay, my side is not too bad. It was 6 minutes walk from MRT.
6 minutes is very good, no?
It's good. Not too bad. Yeah, just that of course the only downside location is at a high elevated ground. It's sort of hidden away. So it's not exactly visible to
Right.
a lot of people.
Mm.
And tucked in one side. So pros and cons. But for me is location is not so important. More importantly, right, is there demand and are there good tenant mix in that property, and can I bring in better tenant mix that into their property such that they can actually draw a natural crowd. So this is things that I guess is, while most of the other I would say old school way of doing things is they like to cut into smaller stores, enhance the yield. For my style, it's more towards branding, marketing, and bringing in the right tenant and creating value from really bringing the right group.
So, one more question on the coffee shop before we move on to the next part of the conversation. Are you going to buy another one?
Wow. This is something we are planning to
Okay.
acquire more.
Okay.
With in fact, now with the investment team, rather than just myself. I am actually the guinea pig to try first.
Wow.
That's my style. I always like to go deep. And for
Yeah,
our
you're very
investing,
brave, you know, to
yes,
experiment.
really a
and
lot
all
of
this.
prayers and really we need a lot of courage. So I
Yeah.
think I experiment first, and then once the system is set up, that is when we can leverage on something that works already. And then as a team, that is when the open up to clients, people that can trust us, and that's when we can go deeper into this market.
Okay, interesting. So,
Yes.
essentially, you are pocketing $100,000 in rental every month from the combined total of these properties, including the kopitiam, right? But here's the thing: the average person would have a portfolio of ETFs, stocks, bonds. They even invest their CPF sometimes, right? And it feels safer. It feels normal, right? It's the conventional thing to do. My passive income is my investment portfolio.
Yes.
Why did you decide that this was going to be the better bet for you as passive income?
I did try to invest in stocks before. I
Right.
lost 6 figures.
Oh my goodness.
But then I also attended courses also. I attend multiple investment courses. Really, I'm trying to learn it.
Okay.
But for me, it's always, I realize going back to this topic of circle of competence.
Okay.
Yeah, so for me is if I am very good at what I'm doing, I'm actually on the ground. I'm actually looking at data, real estate data every time. Then maybe 95 or 90% of portfolio should go into something that I am deep into.
Okay.
Yes, and this is when real estate is my top choice.
Right. So it is down to your confidence level, your comfort level.
Yes.
You know the property game best in your mind compared to stocks, bonds, etc.
Yes.
So this is the path for you.
Yes, correct.
What if another black swan event happens like COVID?
Yes.
COVID 2.0.
Yep.
Or something happens. I mean, we have wars happening right now. If another COVID happens or something similar and it takes that all away from you, what happens then?
Yes. So first thing first is always have safety buffer for me to last for at least like 1.5 years, 2 years of safety net.
Right.
So if everything really goes down south, no renter, worst case, touch wood, then at least there's this buffer that I can last for the next 1.5 year.
So building the buffer
Yes,
is
that's
important.
important. So that buffer I'll put it in like maybe fixed Ds, like very safe aside that doesn't go down south.
Understood.
Yep. Then for me, second part that I will do, if I lose everything, I always think this way, whatever that is my, it's not really mine. So for me, I'm just a steward.
Okay.
And for me, I'm just seeing as a passing phase where how then do we problem solve it and making sure that this particular assets I own, right, is not just for me to just draw income. I always must safeguard my downside. So for example, even kopitiam, I did consider that as a down. I always consider worst case scenario.
Correct.
Where if really things go down south, like would people okay, potentially they will still have to eat, they still have staple, they still have to spend. If COVID, I also have certain backup plan and it happen again, then you have to onboard all of them into Grab, into all these things. So there always be a contingency plan
Right.
that can help to like sustain this downside.
Okay.
Yeah, but for me, I'm always a pessimist. That's why I don't go for speculative asset too much. I don't really know some others is maybe in other properties you
Yeah.
buy, you appreciate, you flip. I mean, those are more likely in the residential, which is more stable because there's a demand for that in the first place. But in the commercial space, I'm not that kind of person who will always buy for speculative gains, to just want to gain for every, because market can go down south, you cannot
Yeah.
exit. I mean, there's always this probability.
Yeah.
But I look at more core plus cash flow assets that even right now, I even increase my buffer over time rather than simply just going for something which have negative top up and have to just flip.
Okay. So it sounds like you've got it all planned out. And I think that's good. That's good, right? Because I think that's what COVID taught a lot of us, is to really be prepared for the next disaster. So y- all of these properties that you've built over the years, right? Residential, commercial, and this kopitiam that I'm clearly quite fascinated with. Um, what is one thing that could make you walk away from any of them?
Okay, one thing I then walk away if it's harms another person or in fact it's illegal.
Okay.
Yeah, so I won't go in details, but there are deals in the market where, I mean, it's linked to even money laundering. It's
Okay.
linked to things that are really like in the space of, you can earn a lot of money from it, but the consequence of it is you will really like go into the illegal side of things.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
so that's something that, I mean, for me, you can earn a quick buck, but the key thing is, it's not righteous. Number two is the consequence if
Yeah.
it were to really, number one, it could lead to even cheating cases.
Yeah.
And so we have seen deals like that. So
Yeah.
this is something that I'll definitely won't even touch, even though it can make me more.
So while we are on the slightly darker side of
Mm.
the conversation, there are a few other questions that I want to ask you also from your experience, right? Have you experienced long-term vacancies at any one of your properties, and how did you deal with that?
The longest I had was about 2 months.
2 months
Yeah,
is
2
long.
months.
Oh,
Or 2
okay.
months, okay, 3 months. Okay, so that's why, walking the ground is very important
Yeah.
for industrial, for commercial, and even for coffee shop. Because this is something that we can do the DUD before even committing.
Got it.
Yeah,
And the
so
DOD
the
is?
DUD. So there are 3 DUDs you can do.
Right.
One is counting number of tenanted unit in the whole development.
Okay.
That's for commercial, so that it makes sure that it's 98% filled up.
Okay.
Then second is to count the number of public good listings that's in the rental listing.
Okay. Okay.
Then that is when they can actually see when there's very little, you know that demand is very high and supply is low, you know that it's easy to rent out.
Okay.
And the third thing is, in fact, sometimes even doing tenancy tests, you can actually like run some beta testing to see
Okay.
whether there is inquiry coming in and asking the agents there, if you have a listing there, how many inquiries do you have? And show me all the inquiries. So these
Right.
are things that I work with. I mean, if people have the listings there, is to understand whether there's inquiries in the first place.
Got it.
And then last but not least is to understand the tenant profile, whether they can pay, whether their business model makes sense. This is the most important part. Like same F&B, as I mentioned,
Yeah.
I do actually do a backward calculation for every single store to see, can this particular person survive?
Got
With the
it.
rental is certain amount, and I factor in the manpower cost, and now manpower is really a problem for F&B
Yeah,
nowadays.
for
So
sure.
that's something that I need to account for this risk. And from there, are there margins? If there are margins to meet and they can survive, then good, this store will run for a long time. So there are some stores that I see that, hey, there are some cracks that is forming. Definitely the model, it doesn't make sense. And then I will have to quickly find in new tenants to replace.
Right. So have you ever had tenants who have had difficulties paying rent? I mean, surely collecting rent is not an easy task also, right?
Yes, definitely. There's one that will owe me 1 or 2 months. And sometimes because we forgot the 2 months rental that we didn't collect, then we of course have to ask for compensation and really, yeah. So that's why usually when people ask me, should I enter commercials or residential first?
Yes.
I always tell them go into resi first because it's stable. It's
Yeah.
very easy to manage and very
Demand and supply
demand
is forever
is
there.
forever there.
Yeah.
But the key thing over here is just going something that is stable, that is certain first for real estate, rather than going something at the highest returns that the risk is high.
Right, right. Okay. I mean, it is a very sort of longer term, big picture approach from what I'm hearing from you so far. So you've had quite the journey.
Yes.
You really achieved a lot in such a short time. You're only 30. So if there was someone out there right now listening to this, watching this, and is feeling a bit inspired perhaps to follow in your footsteps or maybe think about, you know, investing in property, being a property agent, anything that was on your path, what is one piece of advice that you would give to them?
For me, is having the perseverance and grit to start and to persevere. Like over the many years in real estate, it's actually one thing that kept us going. There were a lot of failures. I mean, really, really rock bottom. Where you think if you quit real estate even, it was very tough. But one thing that actually kept us through was the ability to continue to stay on and stay long enough.
Yeah.
And even if for people who, for me, people say 100K is far-fetched, you don't have to start at 100K. It can be 10K, 15K. And that can be achievable actually. And if
Yeah.
you've done proper for the next 10 to 15 years and plan properly, it's not about fast gains. It's about the not sexy, the very slow,
Slow,
but
steady.
But the key is planning ahead.
Yeah.
20 years can do wonders. I've seen people retire through real estate also
Yeah.
and planning ahead. So the key thing is always about starting
Yeah.
and having the discipline and perseverance to continue this
Yeah.
journey.
I think also you're selling yourself short, if I may say so, because I would say that the biggest takeaway from my conversation with you is pure 100% bravery and courage. Like,
Thank you.
I think I don't think I could put myself in those shoes. I mean, I've had my fair share of troubles to get through as well, and so I can appreciate the amount of courage that it takes to really put yourself out there and try something new. Not to get too philosophical, but thank you so much for sharing your story with us
Thank
on
you for
Money
having me.
Talks. Yeah. To the audience as well, and to you listeners tuning in, thank you as always to my Money Talks community. I do have a question for you. I'm wondering, now that Christian and I have shared on the show our various failures that brought us to where we are today, what was one mistake perhaps, one lesson that you learned, financially especially, that you managed to turn around? I would love to hear your inspiring stories. Let us know in the comment section on wherever you are listening to us from. You can also email us directly, cnapodcasts@mediacorp.com.sg. This has been a rather inspiring episode of the Money Talks podcast. I'm Andrea Heng.